tasting like a boss on what appears to be shaping up to be a pretty day. I'm sure it's going to be scalding hot and very steamy, but the sky is very pretty. There's no doubt about that. There's some, looks like it might have rained or something happened last night. Maybe the sprinklers are on because I feel the humidity coming up. I feel the steam starting up already, and it's a little early. So fun. Well, today's review, at least this morning's review, is going to be a decaf coffee. It's by Dublin Roasters. We've already reviewed a couple of those already, and the last one I did was decaf as well. Again, guys, I'm not going decaffeinated, but Boss of Boss is having to cut caffeine out of her diet as much as she can, and as a result, we ran into a problem that a lot of viewers had, which was, how do you get flavored coffee that's decaffeinated? Because everywhere I go, all these online coffee places, you know, they have a lot of great, interesting flavors, but they don't really have a decaf version. They may have a decaf of their regular blend, but not of the flavored blends. And I get it from a business standpoint. But while we were up in Frederick, Maryland, we actually got to go to Dublin Roasters, and they have decaf. They have Swiss water decaf coffee, and this one here is cinnamon sugar cookie. Now, I'll tell you straight up, guys, if you look at my other reviews of other coffee companies that have done things like this, including Bones Coffee Company, that I sing their praises, I haven't really been a big fan of their cinnamon cookie flavors. Like Sugar Rush, I believe, was the one done for Christmas by Bones, and I wasn't a huge fan of it. I mean, there's nothing offensive. It just didn't give me the flavor I wanted. So let's give this a little smell first. I smell the cinnamon and sugar. Not a really powerful coffee scent. It's more of a weaker scent coffee. So, not saying it's bad, it's just, it is weaker scented, sorry. We're gonna be doing this as a three-way review. We have it in the cold brew for 24 hours. We have it in the drip. By the way, this mug we got in Boonesboro, Maryland at that Nora Roberts gift shop. And it's so cool. I don't know if the picture does it justice, but it's got this really cool metallic aspect to it. So I think this is my first review using that mug. And of course, we're going to be having it in espresso. So will this coffee work out? Well, I can tell you what, before I even get started, I know Boss of Boss might like it because she was telling me, are you going to do the review? You should do the review. You should do the review this morning. She's usually not on me about that. If I don't do a review, she's fine. But she was on me. It's either that or she just wants to make sure that I don't touch this bag anymore. All right, let's go to the cold brew. On the cold brew, a little bit of cinnamon. Here's a tasting. It's a brighter cold brew. Cinnamon notes. You know, weird. Huh. You know what, maybe that's what needs to happen. Because this is scrumptious flavored coffee full of cinnamon and spice. I'm getting the spice, I'm getting the cinnamon. There's a little bit of sweetness there. Of course, I'm not having this with any sweetener. I'm having it black, you know, cold brew black. But what I find interesting is the brightness of this coffee, because it's definitely more like a breakfast blend coffee, at least in the cold brew format, allows the notes of cinnamon and spice to be tasted more. I guess that actually makes a lot of sense. If you've got something that's more of a taste, more medium or hearty in coffee, that's very easy to dominate more subtle flavors. So for me, as far as a cold brew goes, it's probably one of the most successful cinnamon sugar cold brews I've had. Is it my thing? Am I going to put it in my constant rotation for cold brew? Probably not. And maybe that's just my own, you know, defects of character, of flavor of character. But yeah, it's really good. They pulled that off. And again, for those people who are decaf, who want to have a cinnamon sugar flavored cold brew, this will work. Again, it's not going to punch you in the face, but it does it more effectively than others that I've tried. Let's move over to the drip, which is the format that my wife drinks. Yeah, see, I can really smell it here. The coffee notes are much stronger on the brew than in the bag. And I can get a little bit of the spice and the cinnamon, although the cinnamon and spice are probably all connected. Let's go to this, tasting like a boss. Okay, now that's really good. That is really good. This is better than the one we had yesterday. I think the one yesterday even said, you know, as far as the drip goes, it was okay. Here I am getting the cinnamon sugar flavor. I mean, it tastes a little sweet, right? For a coffee that, you know, is flavored but doesn't have sugar in it or cream in it. It's good. I'm getting the cinnamon notes. I'm getting the cinnamon spice, more cinnamon than I would expect. It's really good. And that's, you know, again, for most of you, you're going to be putting a little bit of creamer in there, a little bit of sugar, and I think it's only just going to pull that stuff out. I imagine this is really going to be good. You might say, oh, if you put a little sprinkle of sugar, of cinnamon on top, it's going to taste like cinnamon. But what I would probably venture to guess is if you were to take this, put a little bit of your sugar, your cream in it, if you guys want to, instead of putting a cinnamon on top, just a little bit of fresh grated nutmeg, just a little bit. Ooh, that's gonna be amazing. So on the cold brew, not gonna probably put in my rotation, it's still really good, but drip, it's worth it. All right, let's move to the espresso. A little concerned about it because it's brighter on the cold brew than I expect it to be. By the way, it's more of a medium roast here, not as bright. So in fact, it's not bright, it's more of a medium. Here, I'm afraid that the bright notes are going to be affected by the espresso, but let's see. Again, decaf espresso, guys, and it's going to be cinnamon sugar cookie. All right, is it cinnamon sugar cookie? Yeah, cinnamon sugar cookie. Tasting like a boss. You know, at first I thought it was going to be bright, and it's really not. Right in the front end, there's a brightness. But it's really tasty. I'm not sure if I'm really getting cinnamon, but it's definitely interesting and it's good. What am I tasting there? Yeah, if I switch it around, I guess I'm getting that cinnamon. I'm just more impressed with the fact that it's not bitter, it's not earthy. It's not too bright. It's just sort of there. I'm not sure if I'd use it for this, but at the same time, if you wanted to, you could. If you're trying to give yourself a little espresso after dinner and you want it to be decaf, there you go. So again, verdict-wise, on the cold brew, I think for a lot of you looking for that decaf cold brew and you want a little cinnamon, this will be your thing. Not for me, because apparently I really want a flavor to be more intense. So maybe too much of a bright coffee for me on the cold brew. On the drip, exceptional, totally worth it. On the espresso, interesting to try. I'm not sure who's going to be using it for espresso only. And if you do, you're probably going to get it ground as such. This came in a ground bag, and I didn't run it through to make it even more fine, but it seemed to work just fine. So until next time, people, thanks for going on this coffee journey with me, and put some comments and things down the bottom if you'd like. And, you know, keep tasting like a boss. Have a great week ahead. Bye.